This is CNET, and here are the stories that mattered this week. The Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL reviews are in, and nearly across the board, critics are praising the phones for their best-in-class cameras. The 3 XL's notch is a bit of a sticking point with some, but most reviewers report the size of it does not interfere or distract from operation of the phone. Call screening seems to be the favorite new feature, which will actually make its way to other Pixel phones as well. You can read the full review at cnet.com. One of the oldest names in the mobile industry just rebooted with a brand new device that's intended to take you away from your mobile phone. The new Palm looks like a baby iPhone that
Hey folks, glad you could be here. Dr. Joe here today. Thanks for being here. And we're talking today about gross things in your grocery store. It's kind of a fun show because we're going to get a little tongue-in-cheek at some points. But do me a favor. Share this with all your friends right now, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're watching on. And also tell your friends to follow us because we send out a lot of good information.
This program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Dr.Joe, the President of the United States of Health. Now, on News 95.5 and AM 750, WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad we could spend a little time together, as Carol Burnett used to say, if you're old enough to get that reference there. Fun show today. We're going to talk about gross things in your grocery store. We posted on social media as nasty things in your grocery store, but I like gross things in your grocery store. Because when you go into the grocery store, when I was a novice, and I go into the grocery store, I just looked at food and I said, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. But the more you learn about what's in your food and what's happening in the grocery store, the wiser choices you're going to make, I promise you. And a famous man once said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And so after today, you're going to know a lot more, a little bit more anyway, about what's in the food. Well, I put food in quotes. You're eating, and then what you need to do to make better choices, because it's all about you and being healthy. That's what this whole show's about, how to naturally get you well and keep you well. And here's the thing. When patients come in our offices, we're a chiropractic team. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. And patients come in our offices. If you have a pinched nerve, you have a bone out of place, muscle spasm, maybe your stomach is spasmed, pushed up against your diaphragm, you need us to do that. You need us, the team of chiropractors, to work on getting the body back in place physically. But from a nutrition standpoint, you have 100% control over what you eat. And you have to eat anyway. So why not make a better choice? And here's the kicker. It is so much less expensive to eat the way that we're trying to teach you to eat than it is any other way. So you'll save money, you'll feel better, you'll probably live longer, you'll probably have a lot less diseases. Statistically, you'll have substantially less diseases. You'll save a ton of money long-term and short-term on healthcare, if nothing else, and on food. Your kitchen doesn't stink, it's easier to clean up. There's no downside to eating a healthy diet except one. And that one is a lot of those bad foods taste really good. And I remember those days. It's been 32 years. I've been vegan, plant-based for 32 years now. I'm not asking you to do that. I get you may not be ready for that. If you are ready, that's the ultimate goal. But when you start making these changes and you see the difference, and people say, wow, you haven't aged at all. Well, I've aged a little bit, but you stay younger. And so there's no downside to doing that. So let's talk about some gross things in a grocery store. How many of you like hamburgers? Raise your hands. I used to. I remember hamburgers, yeah. What happens is, unless you're getting a real high-quality ground beef, we'll say beef to start with, many times they're mixing it with something called pink slime. So what pink slime is, they'll take all the cheap cuts of the meat, they'll scrape the meat off the bones and the cartilage and things like this, and they'll make it into basically a slurry, and it's called pink slime because it becomes pink. And many times they'll use cleaners, anti-ammonia gases, I say cleaner, it is a cleaner, to kill any salmonella or E. coli or something along those lines. And then they mix that with the other meat. And I have to tell a funny story that my first job ever, I was 11 years old. I was a delivery boy for a butcher in Carlstead, New Jersey, on Hackensack Street, for those of you who might have been there. And the butcher's name was Frank. Never even knew his last name. And 11 years old, me and my friend Eddie, he would work one week, I'd work the other week. And we'd go out there after school, and for 2 or 3 hours, he'd give us a bicycle with a big basket in it. We'd put the deliveries in there and drive it around town and do it. We'd get paid $20 a week, plus tips. And what he would do was very interesting. I didn't quite understand it at that point until I worked there for a while, is he would have a cutting board. He'd cut the meat right in front of you and say, oh, Mrs. Johnson, oh, look at this beautiful piece of meat. Oh, it's so good. And he'd walk behind the counter, and you could see the meat grinder up on the counter. And he'd put the meat into the grinder and then turn it on, and your chopped meat would come out. And it looked wonderful. But when he was doing this, he had underneath the counter all the cheap stuff, what eventually would be called pink slime. I'm sure they didn't call it that then. And he would grind up all the cheap parts and the cartilage and everything, and he'd palm or grab a handful of this stuff and mix it with your fresh chopped up meat. And you thought you were getting 100% of this beautiful cut, when in reality it was probably about 50-50. But the blood from the fresh meat made the other stuff turn red, and it looked great. So Frank was way ahead of his time because he already had pink slime before pink slime was cool. And he didn't use ammonia in it, of course. But that's pretty gross, what you're eating there. So better choices, if you're going to eat meat, and I've said this many times, always get organic. Organic meat, you're not going to get the steroids, hormones, chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, genetically modified food, and you're not going to get the pink slime because they can't use ammonia in organic meats. Pork, they don't make organic pork. There's no demand for it. Probably not your best choice of meat. Even Moses, when he wrote Leviticus a couple of thousand years ago, said, don't eat pork. Pork with dirty animals. There's some religions that if you eat pork, you can be killed for eating it. That's how dirty pork is. So not a big fan of pork, of course. And again, same thing with chicken or turkey. If you're going to eat any animal products, eggs, butter, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, I recommend organic only. And you're going to get a lot of that gross factor taken out if you're eating the organic meats. Now, I don't eat meat, but I understand it even tastes better. And it's cool because 32 years ago, when we first started, I started on this little journey here, you ate salad and beans, and that was about it. And now there's so many options, and at almost every restaurant you go to, you'll find something that was plant-based. I went to a Vietnamese restaurant the other day, and they said right in the menu, vegan. I said, oh my gosh. So stir-fried noodles, they had pho, which is like a soup type thing, and it was great. And so try that. Make better choices, and once again, I looked at the prices on the menu. The plant-based ones were the cheapest ones. So you'll save a ton of money, you'll get that gross factor out of there. Another thing, I talked about the steroids and the hormones, but a lot of the animals that you're eating are given medication because they're sick, veterinary medication. So they'll give you medications, dewormers, something that you probably wouldn't want to eat, antibiotics. And an animal wormer that we find in some meats can cause neurological damage in humans. Anti-inflammatory drugs that they give can cause kidney damage in humans. So you're getting these low doses of drugs in the meat. Now, let's assume you have kidney disease. Did anyone ever tell you not to eat commercial animal products because you may have these anti-inflammatory medications that can affect your kidneys? I wish they would. I hope they did. And if they didn't, I'm telling you right now, don't do it. And I've been in practice a long time now, 34 years, and I didn't see a lot of kidney disease early on in my career. And I'm seeing 2-3 patients a week coming in sometimes with stage 3, stage 4 kidney failure. Something's going on, and I'm worried about that. So one thing you can do is avoid the animal products. It's not necessarily the animal product itself I'm not a big fan of, but also the things that are added to it, the gross part that goes into the grocery store. So that's where I start getting concerned. Folks, got to go to a break. If you have a healthcare question, I'm going to open up the phone lines early today. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. The reason is a lot of you call in and then you can't get on toward the end of the show. But if you have a healthcare question, give us a call now. 844-44-Dr.Joe. My website, drjoe.com. Real simple for you, drjoe.com. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcasts there. You can send me questions there. We have blogs there. We have guest bloggers come in. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. You can do it right there at drjoe.com. Oh, if you have questions, folks, Facebook, Instagram,
Twitch and YouTube.
Twitch and YouTube. That's right. We got a couple going on right now. Please send your questions in. And do me a favor, share it. If you have the capability with your social media, share it with all your friends. Because this is so important. This is healthcare that really, really works. And I want to give this information to everyone. And we're growing unbelievably on the website since we've been broadcasting live on the on social media. And we're going to put these shows on our sites as well, so you can watch them later on if you want to, send a link to your friends too. But share it right now if you would for me. Any questions so far?
So far, I think you know who this is coming from, but sitting at home with arthritis. The arthritis is based off of an autoimmune reaction. So what can you do to minimize the pain of arthritis?
That's an excellent question, actually, because it happens sometimes where the body, you have an infection, like you said, and the immune system starts attacking the infection, but the immune system sometimes can go crazy. It goes awry, as we say in the fancy world. And when the immune system goes awry, it starts attacking the body itself. It's an autoimmune disease. Started by something as simple. It could have been a bug bite that caused the infection. So what do we got to do? We got to get the body on an anti-inflammatory protocol. An anti-inflammatory protocol would be staying away from the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. And when I say sugar, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas, because they are sugars, because that causes an inflammation, but it also weakens the immune system, especially the sugars. Keeping the body hydrated. Many times we have an infection, the body can become dehydrated. Now, if you can't drink, Let's assume you just don't want to drink anything, or you're just so sick you're throwing up. Morning sickness, this works for. Take a bath. Just sitting in water, water can be absorbed into your skin. Your skin is a sponge, so anything that comes in contact with your skin gets absorbed, including water. And if your muscles are weak, you can take an Epsom salt bath, which is magnesium, and the magnesium can be absorbed directly into your skin as well, and that can help bring down the inflammation. Turmeric is a wonderful thing for inflammation. Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, that's the basis of everything. You got to start with Super Greens and Essential Source for whatever condition, almost any condition. So that's all available on the website, drjoe.com. And then I would take Dr. Joe's Seasonal Tonic. Wellness Booster. The Wellness Booster helps keep the immune system strong. And you got to make sure you have enough vitamin D, especially in the wintertime. 5,000 international units of vitamin D every day. Now, I have a supplement, Dr. Joe's Vitamin D. I don't have a sample of it here. It's on the website. I take 5 drops of that every day. Make sure I keep my vitamin D levels up, because that's vital. Gosh, we got everything. Now we're finding cancer and bones and the immune system, vitamin D. Almost every week we're coming out with new research on how important vitamin D is. So that would be important.
And we're coming out with more and more products.
We have more and more products coming out, yes, because of you. You guys demand it. You guys want to know. And you want this, the doc, we need this product, we need that product. So then I sit down with my formulators and we put together the product for you. So yes, we have more products coming out.
And because of all the work we do, we have tons and tons of success stories. Just like Michelle here, no meat, no dairy, no sugar for 4 weeks and feeling amazing.
Isn't that great, Michelle? And easy, right? I mean, it's easy, it's quick, it's cheap. There's plenty to eat. You're not going to starve. So just 4 weeks, that's awesome. Imagine 4 months and 4 years. How awesome you're going to do it. That's great, Michelle. I'm proud of you.
All right. Now we do have a question about herpes.
Okay.
The general medication is Valtrex.
Yes.
And are you familiar with that?
Very, yeah.
I'm sure it's not good to be taking regularly.
Right. It can affect the liver.
Some alternatives, or
Sure.
if you have to take it, I guess, what would be some things you could do to minimize the risk?
Well, if you keep the immune system strong, herpes is a virus. And if the immune system is strong, it's less likely to cause outbreaks. And now, if it's genital herpes, you can share that even if you're not having an outbreak. So just remember that. That's why you need to use safe measures. Barrier methods are the best way to do that. But keeping the immune system strong. The other thing, it happens in the winter because your immune system gets weaker. So make sure you're doing your vitamin D. Make sure it's Super Greens an essential source. And also stay away from peanuts. Peanuts can cause herpes outbreaks. There's ingredients in peanuts that can actually cause herpes outbreaks. So no peanuts ever again. If you have herpes, oral, genital, there's over 100 different strains of herpes. Most people have some strain. But peanuts, I'm not a big fan of peanuts anyway, but stay away from peanuts. That can cause outbreaks as well. But the vitamin D, the Wellness Booster, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, I take every day to keep my immune system strong. If you have herpes, another reason to do it. And stay away from sugar, which blows out. In my book, Prescription for Extreme Health, we have a whole chapter on how sugar affects the immune system and how bad it is. And short term, it can actually make your immune system 14 times weaker.
So now on the immune system, if you've been taking antibiotics...
are behind you, you're wrong. Listen to Dr. Joe Esposito every week on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad we could spend a little time together. We're talking today about gross things you find in the grocery store. And I want you to understand when you're in the grocery store, when you're picking up these products, you go, oh my God, ew, this is gross. And they make it look pretty. And that's another thing. Now, sometimes somebody asked me about bananas one time. And they spray gas on those bananas to make them ripen. And they pick them so green that they have to spray. Is it nitrogen gas? I'm not even sure. I can't remember what the gas is now. If you know what it is, call it in. Let me know. And so that's an issue. But that's spraying it on the banana. But with meats and things, that many times they'll add dye to the meats to make it look red. And so you just got to be careful with that as well. And I think it's another gas they can put on the meats too to make it look red as well. So that's a little trick that has been done. I'm not saying grocery stores do this, but there has been some nefarious activity where a meat's about to expire. They just spray it down with this gas, make it look red, and slap another expiration date on it. So again, I'm not a fan of meat, and I understand you probably are, and that's perfectly fine. And I want to be your friend, and I have one vegan friend in my world. So I totally get it. If you want to eat meat, just make sure it's organic. Try to make better choices when it comes to what you're eating here. Want to talk about heavy metal in your oatmeal. But first, let's take a call. If you have a question, give us a call. 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. That number, by the way, rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. So if you want to have a question or make an appointment, you can always do that. Ron, how can we make your day better? That's fine. Yes. Yes. Sure. Uh-huh.
2 or 3 months, and I've done.
Good. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever I see a skin condition, eczema, psoriasis, I always think liver. That's always my first thought. And in fact, if you even go on something like WebMD and look up liver signs, and one of the first liver signs that'll come up, liver issues, is skin conditions, itchy skin, eczema, psoriasis, things like that. So when it comes to that, you got to take the stress off the liver. So of course, the 7 deadly sins need to come out of the diet: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. You got to get the liver to heal. Now, the good news is with the liver is it's the fastest healing organ in the body. We can remove about 60 to 70% of our liver and it grows back. So, and you survive. So the liver is really quick to heal, which is good. One thing I'd recommend you stay away from, Ron, is dairy products. And that's any dairy: bread, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream, anything that comes out of the rear end of a cow, I would stay away from. The second thing you got to stay away from is all the wheat, barley, and rye specifically as grains. Because that can cause the inflammatory reaction in the gut. It has the gluten, which is a lectin, and lectin causes inflammatory reactions. But most people, when they give up the wheat and dairy products, start to see a change in a couple of weeks. It's not going to happen tomorrow. And you see nice things happen. And then what you want to do is get some extra virgin coconut oil and rub that over the area several times a day, actually. It absorbs really quickly, coconut oil. And that will help it from an external problem. But the problem isn't an external, it's an internal problem. It's coming from the inside out. So by cleaning up the diet, that should help tremendously, but cutting out the wheat and the dairy products is going to be the 2 things I really want you to shoot for. Fair enough? Yes, go ahead. Sure. It has to happen, right? Right, Karen?
Every single show.
Every show. So where do you get your
show.
protein as a vegan? Your body only needs about 8 to 10% of its total caloric intake as protein. Anything beyond that is stress on the kidneys and the liver. What do we have a problem with? You probably a liver issue. So a lower protein diet is actually better. And in fact, a lot of professional athletes are going vegan. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, we're seeing that happen all the time. Professional athlete, and it was just somebody who won like a mega monster marathon or something, like whatever it was, like the highest sporting event.
I see new headlines all the time.
Yeah, and it's, vegan wins, in record time, smashes all records and everything. A lot of professional athletes, even football players, are going to a plant-based diet because more protein is not better. That's where everybody gets wrong. If I need some protein to build muscle, no, you can only use so much of it. I've been a vegan 32 years now. I have no animal products in 32 years. I'm fine. I got muscle strength. I got energy. My brain works fine. So the thing is that everybody gets too much protein. Not
quantity over quality.
There you go. I've never, in all my 32 years of being a nutritionist and a chiropractor, I've ever seen somebody with a protein deficiency. Unless they have diarrhea or they're vomiting or something like that. So you're perfectly fine. You're going to get all the protein you'll ever need eating a plant-based diet, I promise. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. All right, gonna go to we got a few minutes here. All right, if you're on hold, keep holding, folks. Ross, I see you're up there too. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE, and you can get through the studio now. And if I'm not on the air, that rings through to my offices. I promised you about heavy metal oatmeal. Okay, sounds like a band, right? Heavy metal oatmeal. What happens is a lot of times if you make, and I use oatmeal just as a joke here, but if you buy pre-sweetened foods, many times those pre-sweetened foods are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. And it's interesting, you've heard me talk about high fructose corn syrup in the past, and if you're a new listener, you want to stay away from it. Because fructose has to be converted into glucose in your liver in order to be used as a fuel. The body can't use fructose. It has to be converted into a usable form, glucose. In the process, your body produces uric acid. Now, uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts. Now, as a chiropractor, my team of doctors and I, we look at pain patients not every day, every minute of every day. And so we want to give you the best chiropractic care we feel that's available. We hope it's the best. But you have to help us. And that's why every patient that comes in our office, we do a nutritional workup as part of the protocol. Because if you're doing things like high fructose corn syrup or agave, which has way more fructose than high fructose corn syrup, the fructose converts into glucose and gets into your joints. Fructose converts to glucose, creates uric acid. Uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts. Uric acid prevents the body from producing nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. Now, one of our biggest, most popular, well, all our products are popular, but we have one called Dr. Joe's Nitric Oxide Support, which opens up your blood vessels. For your brain, for your reproductive organs, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, you need that circulation. And as you get older, blood vessels become weaker. And I've done many shows on this in the past. That's on my website, drjoe.com. But the other thing we found, I did 65 samples of high fructose corn syrup and found mercury in about a third of them. That was 3 times higher than the average woman should consume in a day. Now, you shouldn't consume any mercury. So I had to laugh when I read that statistic. It's like, no, mercury is 0 consumption. You should have none. But what they call the allowable levels, 3 times the allowable levels in high fructose corn syrup. In 1 of every 3 products. So you don't know where your high fructose corn syrup is coming from. So that's where I want you to really stay away from the high fructose corn syrup for many reasons. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. My website, drjoe.com. Lots of information there. Podcast. We have well over 1,000 hours of podcast there, audio and video. Hey, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We live stream a lot of these shows, and then we put them on the website, too, if you want to see them afterwards. And if you want to make an appointment, come see us for chiropractic, nutrition. If you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. Stop suffering, folks. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. Make the appointment, drjoe.com. Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
WSB's traffic team has another way to warn you about.
Oh, hey, Banky.
Wanda on Facebook
Hi,
wants
Wanda.
to know what kind of diet is good for Hashimoto's.
That's another one we get a lot of. Got to get my super greens and essential source right there. You got to stay away from what's called haloids. Haloids are chlorine, fluorine, and bromine. Chlorine, fluorine, and bromine. Chlorine and fluorine are found in water, toothpaste, because haloids look like iodine. Well, halides are, iodine is a haloid. So if you're putting in chlorine, fluorine, and bromine into the body, it can block up your thyroid and you can't absorb the iodine. So with Hashimoto's, it's an autoimmune condition, but then the thyroid starts getting bigger and bigger. You got to get on an anti-inflammatory diet because your body is attacking itself. And that would be what? 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Got to stay, I would build up the immune system with vitamin D. About 5,000 international units of vitamin D a day. Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster, which is echinacea, pau d'arco, and olive leaf extract. Those are on the website as well. I take that every day in the winter. I take vitamin D. I take Wellness Booster every single day. I take Super Greens and Essential Source because you have to take that. Everybody should every day. And you got to stay away from the sugars. And the reason when I say sugars for you specifically, many commercial breads, they use bromine as a dough conditioner. And the bromine is a haloid that can block up your thyroid receptor sites. And you can't absorb iodine. The Super Greens, the Essential Source, have iodine in them. Most of us are extremely iodine deficient. So for you, it's an autoimmune disease. We want to keep the body as strong as possible by not weakening the immune system and strengthening the immune system. And so that's where I would go if I had Hashimoto's. We have a lot of patients with it. Those are the diets I always recommend. And you got to get chiropractic to that. The nerves in the neck control the thyroid. So if you have a neck injury, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, ever been in a car accident, played sports, you may have a pinched nerve going to the thyroid, which may be contributing to that issue as well. That's why nervous system, digestive system, and nutrition are the key to any protocol.
Now, I'm going to kind of take over this question.
All right, I'll give Garrett this one.
I would like it as well. I would like the
I'll get take a
answer
nap. Go ahead.
as well.
Oh, you want an answer? I thought you were going to answer it for me.
Chronic fatigue is the start of the question, but the main point being I'm in front of all kinds of computer screens all day. Actually, right now I'm in front of 3.
Yes.
And it kills my eyes. By the end of the day, I get home and I have to take my glasses off. I have to rest my eyes. Sometimes I do a hot compress.
Yep.
But what can I do to keep from getting that eye strain? And
Okay, set your timer every half hour. And if you ever watched Karate Kid, I think it was before your time, and you rub your hands together and create heat and put them over your eyes. Take your glasses off, of course, and put it over your eyes, and that's your hot compress. So you can do the little Karate Kid thing and hot compress on your eyes every half hour. And then you got to get up and move around. And when the timer goes off, get up and move around. So how do we do that? Drink a lot of water. When you drink a lot of water, When the timer goes off, time to go pee. Go, even take your glasses off if you can. I mean, walk around without the glasses on. Put a hot compress on your eyes. Make sure you have enough fluid in your body, because the number one reason people get tired is they're dehydrated. And chiropractic care too, because if you have a pinched nerve here from sitting all day, that's the nerve supply that goes into your adrenal glands. And adrenal glands produce adrenaline, which gives you energy. Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support is another supplement that I take every single day, because the adrenals can help the immune system, but also help give you energy. People always say, you know, I ran into one of my friends actually earlier today. We're at a conference, and I hadn't seen her in a couple of years, and she goes, everywhere I turn, there's Dr. Joe. He's on radio. He's on television. They're writing articles about him. Everybody's talking about Dr. Joe. She says, you don't practice anymore, do you? I said, yeah, I still practice, full time. She goes, how do you do it? She goes, you're getting old, The reason is that we keep our bodies healthy, and we really slow down that aging process. So for chronic fatigue, little Karate Kid there, or the only time you should ever use a microwave is you can get these little sandbags for your eyes. I have a pair, actually. I forget the name of it. I got it from my eye doctor. And you can put it in a microwave for 20 seconds and put it over your eyes as well. Because in your eyes, you have oil glands underneath your lashes. And so you think you're just producing tears. You're actually producing oil. And as we get older, if we get tired, those glands can clog up with oil. And when you put a hot pack on it, the oil melts and comes down over your eyeballs. And it's funny, because when you take it off, everything's blurry for a few minutes. That's normal. It means you're breaking up those oil glands. So that's another trick you can do to keep the eyes moisturized by using a hot compress like that.
And yes, if you call into the office and you're asking about insurance, please ask for Meredith, and she will gladly take care of you.
Yeah, there's so many different insurance policies. People say, do you take it? We take almost every insurance that's out there. Sometimes it's in network, sometimes it's out of network. So if you don't see our name listed, that doesn't mean we're not in network or out of network. Okay, so yeah, Meredith will answer all your questions for you, but believe me, I don't think I've ever met anyone who couldn't afford to come see us. They could choose not to want to afford to come see us, but you can't afford not to get well. Why would you suffer needlessly and make your life miserable? If you're healthy, you can go work and make more money. So it's very, very affordable, and we take Medicare too.
Okay, if we have time to get to this one, it's a question on antibiotics. They've been on antibiotics for a little while and want to boost their immune system now.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Joe's probiotics. Take the antibiotics at one time of the day and the probiotics at the other time of the day. So if you take antibiotics in the morning, take the probiotics at night and vice versa. You got to load up on those probiotics, because the antibiotics kill the good bacteria and they kill the bad bacteria.
How long should they do that?
And probiotics? Oh, you're probably looking about, I mean, this is my guesstimate. For every week that you take it, you have to be on probiotics for a month. Because it's very effective at killing it off. It doesn't bounce back as quickly. So make sure you take those probiotics. Very, very, very important. And some people have to take antibiotics forever. I know I have a relative who had knee replacement. They really screwed her up. 9 surgeries in 1 year. And basically they said, well, it is what it is. Not much we can do. So she's taking antibiotics to prevent infection, but she takes the probiotics every single day, and you need to too.
This is a long one on Facebook, and Shelly, I'll get to you on the next break.
All right, Shelly, so hang on.
What nuts have lectins?
What nuts have lectins? I don't have a list of them. I don't know that. Yeah. Like soybeans or
yeah, I know
beans.
a lot of beans.
Yeah. Nuts, I don't know that answer. But I'm not that hung up on lectins either, by the way. Just because this one book came out, and it's the problem du jour on lectins. If you have a healthy digestive system and the stomach has enough stomach acid, you should be able to handle the lectins without much of a problem. So that's why I don't do a whole lot of research in lectins, because I've researched and I'm not that worried about it. Now, if you are worried about it with the beans and the nuts, you get a crock pot. Pressure cooker. Cook them in a pressure cooker. It breaks down the lectins. Or what I do is whenever I eat something that's cooked, including nuts and seeds, if they're roasted, I take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes with it. No problem solved.
55 degrees on Peach
So,
Street. I'm Edgar Drake. It's WSB.
Here we go. Coming back.
Feeling good.
Oh, and I got your answer
On the doctor's
for
office.
bananas.
Get stronger and healthier with Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Long break on this one. Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Hope everybody's happy and well, as always, and I do appreciate your kind words. Lots of folks calling in, just leaving messages saying, thank you, Dr. Joe. One person, went plant-based for 4 weeks, feels great. Many people sent us messages taking the Super Greens, the Essential Source, just blown away by it. If you don't know what that is, there's 2 products that I have. I take them every day. I have them here at the studio with me. And it's 2 powders. I take a scoop of each every day, mix it together. I can use cold water if you want, or coconut milk, or almond milk. And it's the minimum amount of nutrients you need every day. And again, every time we do a show, we got bombarded with thank yous. Oh my gosh, this stuff is great. I feel great. It's not an end-all be-all. Somebody sent a message to us the other day and said, I've been taking it for a week and I don't see any changes yet. Well, depends how bad you are. It may take a while to build up nutrients. So it's not like a drug. I mean, if I have pain and I take an opioid, I don't feel the pain. It's very, very effective at that. But we're rebuilding your body. Some people take it the first day and are blown away. You got to stick with it. Like anything else in life, you got to stick with it. I always tell people, take it for at least a month, maybe 2 months. And if sometimes there's other things going on. Maybe you have a thyroid problem, and that's why you're tired all the time. Maybe it's an adrenal issue. I take Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support. It's a supplement I have every day. Because as you get older, your adrenal glands get weaker and weaker. And so I'm fighting Father Time, man, and I'm in battle, man, and so far I'm winning. But I take Super Greens and Essential Source every day. I take Adrenal Support every day. I take B Complex every day, vitamin D every day, and nitric oxide. And then if I eat cooked foods, I'll take Dr. Joe's Enzyme Supports. And all those supplements are on my website, drjoe.com. You can order them there. And if you don't know what to order, you can always send us questions, and we may be able to answer them for you as well. But the supplements, I can't imagine not having supplements in my life. I have to take them every single day, at least once a day, sometimes more. And especially if it's a time of the year where your immune system is getting weaker, you got to get that vitamin D in there. That's such an underrated supplement, and it's so cheap for what you're getting. I take 5 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D every day, and that's 5,000 international units. And the studies are just crazy about it. It's helping with cancer patients, helping with bone mass, it's helping with reversing the aging process, and it's just, and the immune system, of course, is huge. And all those are on my website, drjoe.com. So we're talking today about gross things in a grocery store. So let's take a caller. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Ross, how can we make your day better? I am so glad you called. Doing great. Absolutely. Fasting is amazing, and it helps with cholesterol. Can help, can't never guarantee anything, with cholesterol, with sugar. And here's the thing, minimum every day you should be fasting 12 hours a day. So how do we do that? If you have dinner at 5 o'clock at night, don't have anything else to eat until 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's pretty easy. It's not hard. 2 hours before you go to bed, or 3 hours, whatever. You're going to sleep a lot better. And your body, after 8 hours, it's going to digest a meal for 8 hours. After 8 hours, your body starts to utilize fat. So many people say, Doc, I just can't lose weight. I just can't lose weight. So it's not only what you're eating, it's when you're eating. So minimum every single day, like I'm done. I stop. I have my meals and I'm done, and I won't eat again until I wake up in the morning. I usually get up around 5 or 6. So I'll probably have my next food around 7 o'clock. So I usually stop eating around 7 and go till 7 in the morning. So that's called intermittent fasting. Very effective. Now, if you want to get really crazy, Ross, and you're concerned about the cholesterol, cut out one of those meals. Cut out either breakfast or dinner. And eat all your food within an 8-hour time frame. Okay, so that's and if you do that, again, eating good is important. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, making sure the bowels are moving the way they're supposed to. If your bowels aren't moving at least once, certainly twice a day is ideal. We have Dr. Joe's Intestinal Cleanser. It's on the website. Take that every day. And when you can go longer and longer with this intermittent fasting, most patients with cholesterol, blood sugar, they're blown away within a week or two. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. My pleasure, Ross. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Tell your friends. Thanks. And folks, if you have a healthcare question, give us a call here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe, D-R-J-O-E. And the website, of course, is drjoe.com. Lots of good information there. My blog is there. You can send me questions through the website if you want. We're talking about gross things in the grocery store today. How about shrimp? I don't eat shrimp, of course. Once again, Moses said in Leviticus, don't eat shrimp or pigs. Food safety experts. They say imported shrimp is about as dirty as a food you can get. And it's not hard to see when you consider what's happening in it. Antibiotics, cleaning chemicals that are used in the farm shrimp pens, because if shrimp are raised in a farm pen, they'll use cleaning chemicals to clean it out. Residues from toxic chemicals banned in the U.S., pieces of insects. So one story, was it somewhere, I don't want to say, maybe Vietnam or somewhere in Micronesia, where they had a village where they had, they just flushed their toilets and it went into the shrimp pond, and that was part of the shrimp food. And so if you're going to eat shrimp, Don't think you should. But if you're going to eat shrimp, I'm going to strongly advise that you eat domestic shrimp. Because only about 2% of all the seafood imported into this country is inspected. But if you're going to do it, at least do it domestic. Most of the shrimp in this country is caught in the Gulf of Mexico. Much better choice than going overseas. So make sure if you're going to eat seafood, or specifically in this case shrimp, so we're talking about grosser things, just make sure that it's local. Not local, but indigenous to the United States. I don't eat fish. Most fish has mercury in it, especially farm-raised fish. If you're going to eat fish, I recommend wild-caught. So wild-caught shrimp, wild-caught salmon. If it says Atlantic salmon, it's farm-raised. If it says Alaskan salmon, it's wild-caught. So that may be a little term there, because somebody sent me an email the other day about that, and they said, well, I'm eating wild-caught Atlantic salmon. No, you're not. You lied, because the wording means a lot in this business, in the food business. And that's just my opinion. What you do is always up to you. I can never force you to do anything. But if you have to eat anyway, why not make better choices? Why not make less expensive choices? Why not make healthier choices? And when you're hungry, remember, you're not hungry for food, you're hungry for nutrition. And so if you give your body lots of nutrients, you're going to eat a lot less food. And that's one of the easiest ways to lose weight, is start eating high nutrition food. Things like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, loaded with nutrients. I get messages all the time from people all over the world that order this stuff. And they say, Doc, I can't afford not to take this stuff. And the first time I got that message, I didn't understand it. And I said, Doc, when I take that, it took me a while, it took a couple of weeks for the body to readjust. He said, I don't eat as much. I'm not as hungry. So I'm saving money on food. So I'm saving money by buying your products. I said, that's pretty cool. All right, more gross things in the grocery store. MRSA. Hard to treat antibiotic-resistant infection. It's not a joke, man. These superbug strains of MRSA are on the rise, infecting about 185,000 people and killing about 17,000 annually. 17,000 people die from this MRSA infection. And it's a drug-resistant antibiotic. I've done many shows in the past on drug resistance and these superbugs, because every time a bug is exposed, viruses, germs, bacteria, they're exposed to low-grade antibiotics, especially bacteria in this case, they can mutate. And they mutate. Now we've got these diseases that nobody can fix. And in fact, I was a guest on my friend Eric von Hessler's show the other day, and we were talking about these mutated diseases that are going around that aren't responding to drugs. MRSA being one of them. That's old hat now. They got new ones now. And they don't know what to do about it. Well, every time you eat something that has antibiotics in it, like a lot of commercial meats and dairy products, you're giving yourself low doses of antibiotics, in most cases. And so it's no big deal. You eat a hamburger, it's not a big deal. A couple pieces of chicken, not a big deal. But over time, and then we have this, this herd, we call it herd immunity when it comes to vaccines, but we also have this herd reaction when more and more people are doing it. The bacteria, viruses, germs can now mutate, and now we create these resistant diseases. And so it's not something you want to have around. Dangerous MRSA strain lingered in 7% of pork and on test samples. So another reason not to eat pork. Folks, got to go to break. Didn't realize it was going so fast. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website, if you want to get the supplements, send me questions, watch videos, drjoe.com. Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If you're like most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you scared?
All right, Mr. Garrett. Oh, back to work.
Okay. Hi, my friend's 18-month-old son has been throwing up and has had diarrhea for 2 weeks. Just had his stool tested, and docs say he has salmonella and C. diff.
Yep.
And thank you, Shelley, for the acronym.
There you go. Yes.
Said not to give him dairy and gave him an RX for Flagyl.
Uh-huh.
My friend started throwing up this morning as well. Outside of the medical treatment, any natural advice to help them get well?
Yeah, when you get the C. diff and the salmonella, absolutely stick with your doctor's advice, follow their advice, take the medication. Again, I'm not against medication. But once again, it seems to be a show on immunity today. You got to get that immune system strong. And even at 18 months, you can give them 1,000 international units of vitamin D every day, because most people are deficient in vitamin D. So you can get it on the website, drjoe.com. That's 1 drop is 1,000 units. You got to stay away from the sugars, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. Took them off the dairy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Smart doctor. Yay, kudos to that doctor for making the right move there. And probiotics are going to be really important. So Dr. Joe's probiotic support, that's on the website. And, you know, we take 2 capsules for an adult. You can take maybe half a capsule, open it up, just put it in their food. It has no flavor. It's powder. And get those probiotics built up in their digestive system. Because 80% of your immune system is in your digestive system. And if they've got the diarrhea and the vomiting, they're wiping out all the good bacteria in their colon. You got to rebuild that. And then the Super Greens, the essential source, are great too. For baby, maybe a quarter of a scoop. For adult, it's a scoop of each. I take a quarter scoop of each, blend it up with maybe a frozen banana, some frozen berries, and give the kid that as well. So keep with the medication, but then do the natural approach as well. The vitamin D, the probiotics, and the Super Greens, the essential source.
How long have you been talking about the gut-brain connection? How many years?
35?
I just saw for the first time a drug company on TV with a commercial talking about the gut-brain connection.
Really?
I did.
How cool is that? They're finally catching up to us.
Yep.
Well, a lot of doctors and hospitals, thank you for watching, by the way, and listening. They watch the show, listen to the show. In fact, I was at Emory with a friend of mine, and her daughter had an issue, and we're at Emory. And the doctors were just like, oh, my God, we watch your show all the time. We listen to your show. We meet and then talk about it in the doctor's lounge. And they've even asked me, and I think I'm going to do it. I think Garrett's making me do this. I'm going to go teach at Emory. He's beating me up a little bit. He wants me to go teach at Emory.
Good content.
Oh, it's great, yeah. But they've been beating us up forever to come to the show, come teach them, because this is stuff, they're not arguing with us. They just never heard of this before. And that's why it's great to take the 2 worlds and put them together, chiropractic, medical, nutrition, and it's pretty powerful. When all the things come together, they work real well together. So, not a question?
Someone I know has recently been diagnosed with diabetes and prostate cancer. What supplements, actions should or do you recommend?
Okay. Well, with diabetes, you always want to check the middle of the back. That's the nerve supply to the pancreas. Give you the 6th thoracic vertebrae. With prostate, low back. That's the nerve into the colon, the sex organs, and the bladder. So from a chiropractic standpoint, we want to check the nerve supply, always, on every condition. From a nutrition standpoint, we did a show on diabetes not long ago. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, we got a real good show on diabetes, 2 hours on nothing but diabetes. So take that, watch it or listen to it, and then send a link to your friend. And we talk about that extensively. As far as prostate goes, you got to get the adrenal glands working. And that's when I take Dr. Joe's adrenal support. And also, you might want to consider taking some other supplements that we have from other companies. These aren't Dr. Joe brands, but there's one for prostate specific, and there's also saw palmetto that works pretty well also. So if they want to get a specific protocol put together, go to my website and send us an email or give us a call, and we can put together a protocol specifically for that. Okay, we're almost got to go back to the radio. So yeah, it's not a game you want to play with. Diabetes and prostate cancer could be deadly. So bring them in. Really, the best thing to do is bring them in, and then we can check the nerve supply. We can put together a specific protocol for them. But right away, Super Greens an essential source and adrenal support right off the bat to get someone like that going. And you go through nitric oxide to increase circulation. That might help get circulation to the prostate. Because as we get older, our prostate, we don't use it as much, us guys. And so the prostate, use it or lose it. One of the reasons men's prostate go weak is we don't use it as much. Okay, here we go.
Looking at your refrigerator. Learn what you should eat and what not to eat to get healthy. Dr. Joe Esposito is on. News 95.5 at AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there because we're talking about real cool stuff today. We're talking about gross things you find in a grocery store. See a little play on words there, gross and grocery. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. 844-44-DRJOE. And that number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. All right, so gross things. We talked about MRSA and how it's found in pork. The bacteria die with proper cooking, but improper handling can infect you. Spike in superbug infections is largely blamed on antibiotic abuse in factory farms and supply in most supermarket foods. So it's not just me saying this. This is well known. This is what's happening. Again, you want to, if you're going to eat animal products, organic is going to be less likely to have these this MRSA in it. And make sure you cook your food. I was a guest on a show the other day, and we were talking about this chicken and salmonella and people getting sick. And And they said, what do you do? And I said, well, you got to make sure that you, and the new thing now is don't wash your chicken if you're going to eat it, if you're going to cook it, because when you wash it, it could splash all over your countertops and you can spread the MRSA, whatever else, the E. coli all around. So, of course, my suggestion is don't eat chicken. Well, it makes the problem solved. And everybody in the studio laughed. Oh, come on, you weren't going to do that. Come on, dude. So I said, all right, well, if you're going to do it, use a glass cutting board because it's not porous, because wood can be porous and plastic can have scratch marks in it. Put your cutting board in your dishwasher. Wipe down your counters with a mild bleach solution. Water and bleach, probably, maybe a 5-to-1 water to bleach. Less bleach, not less water. Wipe everything down and make sure you cook your food. Because if you have the salmonella or the E. coli, it's going to be killed when you cook it. My thought, of course, is just don't eat it. But if you're going to do that, make sure you follow the right protocols. And then somebody called in the show, actually sent a voicemail into the show I was on, and they said, yeah, but if you use a glass cutting board, you're going to dull your knives. And I said, yeah, but which would you rather have? Run the risk of E. coli and salmonella, or would you rather have a knife that you just have to sharpen periodically? So my thought, of course, is that's the best choice because glass is non-porous. You can use, even granite is porous. So if somebody said, one of the guys in the studio said, well, if you just cut it on your fancy granite countertops, you have enough money to just replace your countertops. Granite is porous. It's like a bunch of little straws all stacked up. And that's why you have to seal your granite. And that's why you have to seal it at least once a year to make sure that things don't get in there and can cause problems. It can stain it, but can also build up junk in there as well. So, of course, the easiest thing is to just not, eat the chicken. I disagree with what the experts are saying. Don't wash your chicken. I think you should wash it and wash off as much as you can, and then just clean up after yourself. That's a much better choice. And that's the beauty of dishwashers, folks. Sanitizes and kills things, so throw it in your dishwasher if you can. And when I got to take a call. When we come back from the call, we're going to talk about pregnancy hormones in your canned soup. That sounds pretty weird, doesn't it? All right, let's take a call. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Steve, how can we make your day better? Right. Probiotics have a huge, absolutely. About 80% of your digestive system, about 70-80% of your immune system is in your digestive system. And the reason that statement is made is because your digestive system is just lined from end to end with probiotics. Pro meaning in favor of, biotic meaning life, in favor of life. Antibiotics kill off bacteria. That's why they're not in favor of life. They're against the life, but they're killing good and bad bacteria. That's the problem with antibiotics. So probiotics, when viruses, germs, bacteria, undigested food get into the colon, they can fight them off and kill them. And so if you, they're an amazing thing. Your skin has them on it. Your eyes have them in it. Your ears have it. It's everywhere, probiotics. So probiotics are a good thing. And that's why one of our popular supplements is called Dr. Joe's Probiotic Support, Optimal Probiotics, because if we don't eat good food to feed the bacteria in your colon, the bacteria can die off. And you may have never heard of the word prebiotics. But prebiotics are carbohydrates that you can't digest, but the bacteria can digest and eat. The probiotics digest and eat the prebiotics. So in Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, we have prebiotics and probiotics. So you can fertilize basically your garden, your colon, with prebiotics. And that's why a plant-based diet has a lot of prebiotics in it. Animal products don't have prebiotics in them. So that's why I strongly advise taking Dr. Joe's probiotics if you're not eating a really good healthy diet. You can take them every day, but my goal would be that you eat a good enough diet that you don't have to take them every day. Yes, but most people aren't doing that, so that's why we have the supplements to help them on their journey to get well. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. And again, if you have a question, like Steve, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-444-DRJOE, and that number rings through to my offices. All right, pregnancy hormones in a can. Sounds like an odd thing, isn't it? There's a chemical called bisphenol A. You may see it listed on products as BPA. And years ago, I talked about this. Again, all the stuff we talked about that's so hip right now, BPA-free and no antibiotics, how chickens are not fed antibiotics and hormone-free. You see these commercials all the time. I've been talking about that for 35 years, folks. PBA, bisphenol A, is kind of newer than that. But yeah, all these things we've been talking about forever. So if you want to get on the bandwagon and beat the crowd, just listen to my shows and you'll learn all this. BPA, it's a chemical, it acts like a hormone, it acts like estrogen in your body, and it's used to create what's called an epoxy lining in canned foods. Now, years ago, when I was first graduated from school, graduate school, I worked at a pizza delivery place, still there, and I delivered pizza at night so I can pay my rent during the day because I had no patience. I opened it. As soon as I got out of school, I was 23 years old. I was a whiz kid, got through school real fast. And I was going to open up my own practice, and I was going to take on the world. And I opened up my practice, and I had no patience. So I had to deliver pizza at night to pay my rent on my office during the day. And my biggest fear I always had was I'd deliver pizza to a patient. You know, hey, Bob, here's your pizza. I'll see you Tuesday for your appointment. Luckily, that never happened. Now I can tell the story. Back then, I couldn't, of course. But we used to scrape out the cans. They had a big, giant spatula to get the sauce out of the can because there was enough sauce left stuck to the walls of the can to make one more pizza. So we were told once the can of sauce is empty, scrape it out with the spatula, you get enough sauce for one more pizza. Well, now we have something called bisphenol A, and it's an epoxy lining. It just makes food just slide out. But now you're going to find it in foods. When I come back, I'm going to tell you why that's bad for you. Folks, got to go to a break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. My website for supplements, Dr. Joe Super Green, Central Source, adrenal support, probiotics, all on the website, drjoe.com. Hundreds of hours of podcasts there. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram because we live stream a lot of our shows and you get to see my pretty face then. But the website's a great source of information if you want to make an appointment. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I am so excited to tell you about...
There you go, Sean. Sorry.
All right, over on YouTube, we've got Goldie.
Hi, Goldie.
Asking, so in February, I went to the ER for bloating, gas, and stomach pain.
Uh-huh.
They did a pelvic and abdominal MRI, or a pelvic and abdomen MRI, and said all organs were normal.
Good.
Nothing was wrong, and sent them home with proton pump. But they heard that you said not to take it.
Well, I never say not to take drugs. I tell you why I wouldn't take them. And whatever you decide to do is always your choice. I'm not a medical doctor. Yes.
And so I was recently looking over my medical records and saw that on the ER visit, they saw scattered diverticulitis. One, why didn't they tell me? And two, I mean, I told them about my brother, about how he has it. Very scared, very afraid.
Yeah. Why they didn't tell you, I can't answer that. I don't know why anyone does anything. I know what I do, but I don't know why Garrett does what he does. I mean, I don't know why they didn't tell you. Yes, they should have. Number two, diverticulitis is an inflammatory reaction in the colon. And if you have inflammation, you can tear little holes in your colon, and that's called leaky gut syndrome. And so these chunks of food, fecal matter, bacteria can be absorbed through the colon and get into your body, and then you have a systemic infection, and that's not good. Many times when I see bloating and gas with patients, of course I look at their diet. If they just had 2 cans of beans or a bunch of cabbage, well, that could cause bloating and gas, of course. But many times the problem is physical. You have a sheet of muscle called your diaphragm, and your stomach can push up into the diaphragm and then spasm around the diaphragm, and the stomach can kind of spasm, and you're not digesting your food properly. So the food then passes partially digested into your small intestine, where it causes an inflammatory reaction with gas and bloating and diarrhea or constipation. So if you have that, you need to come see us in our offices, and we massage or adjust the stomach down away from the diaphragm. And in many cases, that solves the problem. And I've been in practice a long time now. About 85% of the patients that we see have some type of digestive distress. We put that delicately. And when you fix the stomach, you pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, you get on a good diet, get on digestive enzymes if you're eating cooked food, the probiotics to rebuild the bacteria in your colon, the super greens, the essential source. It usually works pretty well. So I would suggest doing that, and that should work.
As far as a quick recap of what's been covered so far.
Yes.
After every show, all of them will be archived, and you can go back over them. If you'd like to be able to rewind, you can't on Instagram, but if you check out Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch for Dr. Joe Esposito, you'll find the same show and you can rewind. Otherwise, what is vitamin B supplement for?
Okay, but Garrett makes a good point, because sometimes folks will tune in. We run the show for several hours, and you'll tune in and go, ooh, I got a question. And it's okay to ask the question, but if we covered it already, the folks that have been listening for an hour or 2 or 3 or however long we're on the air on that show, they don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. So if I say we covered that already, just go to my website, drjoe.com. And again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Instagram not, Facebook and YouTube. And
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch are all through the website, and
Okay.
Instagram stays archived for 24 hours only.
Okay, yeah. So just go to the website. You can watch it, rewind it, and then if you have questions specifically, instead of jumping with the question, maybe you want to watch the whole show and go, oh, there's your answer right there. And then when you want to make an appointment to come see us, then you can always send us the question.
And also, if you do have a question after our business hours and can't call in, on the website, on the bottom left, there is a chat feature. Dr. Joe actually answers those questions himself.
That's really me answering, yes. All right, folks, I got to go, I got to do my liners because this show is nationally syndicated, internationally syndicated, and we do little commercials for stations around the country. So bear with us. We'll be cool. We'll be back.
And then the vitamin B answer.
Vitamin B, okay, good. Ready, bud? Okay. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and this week we're talking about gross things you find in the grocery store. Dr. Joe Esposito here. This week on my show, we're going to be discussing gross things you find at the grocery store, what problems that can cause, and then how to avoid them. Hey, we're talking about gross things at the grocery store and what you need to know about so you can make better choices on the Dr. Joe Show. That's professional right there. One take, bam.
All right, now what do you take vitamin B for?
Vitamin B.
Take vitamin B for?
What do you take vitamin B for? I take it every day. B vitamins are necessary for so many different things. They help the nervous system. We know that folate, of course, with babies, it can affect neurological issues if the mother is deficient in B vitamins. B12 helps the nervous system function and fire off normally. Each one has a different purpose, but most of it is energy use, making the cells utilize energy or produce energy more efficiently, and for neurological issues. And we have Dr. Joe's B complex. I take that every single day because as a vegan, I don't get a lot of B12 in my diet. And the reason is B12 comes when bacteria eat rotten carcass. And when it's eating the carcass, one of the waste products that the bacteria produce is B12. We get our B12 from a fermentation process. And so that's where the B12 is in Dr. Joe's B complex, and I've got to make sure I get my B12 every day too. So B12 is good for nervous system and utilizing energy. That's why when you take B vitamins, you usually get a burst of energy because it makes the cells, the mitochondria in the cells, generate through a Krebs cycle, an ATP generates energy that way. So it's a big process there.
Do you have scoliosis?
No.
Did you ever?
Nope. I got a fracture in my low back. I got spondylolisthesis. Try saying
well,
that.
Then I can answer this one based on my own personal.
Okay,
so
Mr. Scoliosis himself.
I had scoliosis. Still somewhat have it. So yes, scoliosis can be treated with chiropractic care, but it's not an overnight thing. It's not a 1 month, 2 month thing. For me, it's been 3 months, and I'm just now starting to show big signs of improvement. And it's taken a lot of work on my part. A lot of stretching at home, a lot of stretching my hip. But you would definitely see positive impact.
Should see positive. You never make a promise.
Well, yes,
right.
should. I have seen
there you go.
Tons of
right. But with scoliosis, if you don't fix it, it gets worse. Guaranteed 100%. And so with scoliosis, if you have it, you need to get in and fix it. We had a patient come in the other day, and she was probably my age, horrible scoliosis and kyphosis and all hunched over. And she said, I don't know if I want to get into something now. I said, when are you going to get into it? You're already in your late 50s. When are you going to get this thing fixed? And she thought about it for a while, and she goes, let me think about it for a second. And we went back in. She goes, you know, you're right. When am I going to get this fixed? There is no good time to get it fixed. Now is the good time to get it fixed. So please don't put that off ever, ever, ever. Any bone out of place will wear out. Doesn't matter if it's your knee, your ankle, your spine. That's why with chiropractic care, it's not just about pain. It's about putting the bones back in place so that they don't wear out. So, another question?
Well, yeah, it was having an effect on my knees.
Sure.
My hip was out of alignment. My knees weren't facing straight. My feet were pointed out. I was walking funky.
Yeah, so, and you're young. If you waited another 10 or 20 years, it would have been a whole lot worse trying to fix it. All right, what else we got? Maybe we got a quickie in here.
How do you heal leaky gut? Can you do that quickly?
No, that's not a quick answer, but hold that one, okay?
Okay.
We can get to it. Nervous system, digestive system, and nutrition.
MCTs.
Medium chain triglycerides.
What do you think?
Okay, nothing wrong with them. They help the immune system. It is processed though. Coconut oil itself is processed. Then you process out the MTC.
Is it something good to add to your super greens and essential source in the morning?
If you want to, you can. I don't think you need to though. Okay. It's not going to hurt you.
All right, Instagram. We're going to be right back. We got to turn it off and turn it right back on.
Yeah, don't go to. That's the rules on Instagram. So.
Cool this evening, falling through the 50s into the 40s, and by Monday morning down to 41 in town, some upper 30s in the suburbs. Then mostly sunny and a high of 66 tomorrow. On Tuesday, partly cloudy, low 48, high 60.
Hi, Instagram. Welcome back.
Mostly sunny Wednesday.
Weird rules they have on Instagram. You got to shut it off after an hour.
Now it's 53
All right, here we go.
degrees on Peachtree Street.
Got to go back on radio, folks. Got to do my job.
With news on the hour.
Share this,
Half at whenever
by the way,
inside that
and tell your
news
friends.
on
Got a whole
that
nother hour coming up.
exclusive 24-hour news, weather, and traffic station. News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB. Depend on it.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
You'll ask yourself, why didn't I listen to him sooner? Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey, everybody, thanks for listening. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day. And if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you've been with us for a while, thanks for staying with us. And we're talking today about gross things you find in a grocery store. Kind of a cool little topic, isn't it? And there's a lot of gross things in a grocery store. And we talking before about something called bisphenol A. Now, bisphenol A is a chemical, and it acts like estrogen when it gets into the body. It's called an endocrine disruptor. And most of us don't need more estrogen. We need less estrogen. Because estrogen is a growth hormone. And estrogen can counteract testosterone. Now, testosterone, you think about testosterone as the hormone, as your muscle building hormone or your sex drive hormone. Absolutely, that's what it does. But when you talk about building muscle, not just your biceps and your triceps. How about your colon? How about your heart? How about your blood vessels? All of these are muscles. And so when you start putting these xenoestrogens, xeno meaning foreign, like xenophobia, fear of foreigners, xenoestrogens, foreign estrogens into the body, they can be 200-300 times stronger than human estrogen, really causing adverse effects in the body, blowing out your immune system and blowing out your hormone system. And so bisphenol A is a big issue, and it's used a lot now in cans. They line cans with it. And you'll see baby products now, BPA-free, which is wonderful. I'm so glad we finally got the message out to that. Friend of mine, I was there the other day, and they have a little tiny baby, and they said, oh, time to feed her. And they took a plastic bottle with formula, put it in the microwave. Hey, there's a great line from a 10,000 Maniacs song, and the line is, he's your kid, do as you seem fit. So I'm not here to tell anybody how to raise their children, so I keep my mouth shut. But it drives me insane because I'm not a fan of microwaves in any way, shape, or form. I've done many shows on microwaves in the past, but never, ever put plastic in a microwave. Don't use your microwave, ever, unless you're going to put your sponge in it. It's really good at the end of the day. If you have a sponge, it's full of viruses, germs, bacteria, fungus. Throw it in the microwave for a minute or two. Make sure it's wet so it doesn't catch fire. And it'll kill off the viruses, germs, and bacteria. But if you put plastic in a microwave, it will leach some of that plastic into the food. And you have zero need in your dietary requirements for bisphenol A. So a lot of cans have bisphenol A in it. You're starting to see more and more products saying BPA free. Some of them tried getting sneaky and they started putting BPS in there, bisphenol S, as opposed to bisphenol A, which is bad for other reasons. And I hope that practice is stopped. I don't have any documentation either way on that. But that's pretty gross because it can cause abnormal cell growth. BPA exposure is very dangerous. It can cause abnormal development of reproductive organs, behavior problems in children, cardiovascular disease, metabolic changes, insulin resistance, which can lead to diabetes. So please, 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 if you're going to do canned foods, especially acidic foods like tomatoes, I'd rather see you get it in glass or make sure it's BPA free. Now, a lot of organic products have gone BPA free because, again, it's a healthier product and they're trying to meet the demands of the public. But you make the decision on what gets sold. Your dollar means a lot. My friend Clark Howard always says, vote with your wallet. And I love that line. I've used it so many times. You know what? Your customer service is really horrible, and I don't like you, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm just not going to use you anymore. Don't have to complain, don't have to do anything. But if everyone thinks like that, I'm going to walk away, then, of course, a company will have to take note. So please, canned food, number one reason 90% of Americans have BPA in their body is from canned foods. So look for products in glass, or the aseptic cartons are good too. I'll do that now too if I'm going to get something. The aseptic cartons for tomatoes or beans or things like that. And usually the price is about the same now. It's come around a lot. Now, if it's a non-acidic product, probably not as bad. But try to go organic on everything you do, and you're probably going to get less BPA. You can also get BPA on receipts. So credit card receipts. So if you don't need a credit card receipt, don't take it. If you do, every time you handle it, just like every time you handle money, you should wash your hands. Money is disgusting. If you ever saw any studies done on what's on money, it's gross as heck. But wash your hands whenever I touch a credit card receipt, if I have to use it, for business purposes, make sure you wash your hands. Not a good thing. Now, that's very minimal BPA, but once again, why not? Why not take these little steps? As a chiropractor, patients come to us all the time with neck pain and back pain and shoulder pain. And they say, well, doc, I got these problems when I got in a car accident. I've never seen a car accident ever where the car was damaged and the occupants weren't. So I don't care what the insurance company tells you. Oh, it was only $500 worth of damage. You weren't hurt. How do you know you weren't hurt? You've never even met you. Aggravates me when people do that. But if you're having pain, chances are it's a pinched nerve. Now, maybe something else, but if you want to come see us, we would love to be your doctors. And we can check to see if that pain is something like a pinched nerve, muscle spasm, degenerative joint, jammed facets it's called. The joints can jam together. And then we'll tell you what we recommend to try to get it fixed. And you think, well, we're talking about little things. Yeah, pain you might think is just a little thing. It's just a little headache, a little backache. But little things can lead to big things. Just like constantly touching cash register receipts can lead to big issues. Constantly having neck pain or back pain can and usually will lead to more serious issues. So don't think the pain is there's nothing to worry about, because pain is a warning sign. It's telling you something's wrong. And if you ignore it, the chances are very high it's going to get worse. The biggest complaint we get in our offices, every day my doctors hear it, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long? Why didn't somebody tell me about this? So we want to get your nervous system working properly. That's chiropractic. We want to get your digestive system working properly. Sometimes your stomach can actually spasm and push up against your diaphragm, and we need to adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. And I can't tell you how many patients we see every single day that have this condition. I'd say about 80% of our patients, one way or another, have something wrong with the digestive system. And so you can manually adjust or physically adjust the digestive system. And then we want to get you on a good diet. And that's why I'm talking about gross things in a grocery store, because you have decisions. You can vote with that dollar. I'm going to vote with my dollar, and I'm not going to buy these products. And guess what? You make the change. Years ago, we didn't have health food sections in a grocery store. We didn't have organic products. We didn't have commercials saying, we don't feed our chickens antibiotics. Where did that come from? That came from you, the consumer, demanding good quality foods. And so that's why it's so important that you vote with your dollar. And at least take supplements. The supplements I recommend to start are Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. They taste great. I have them right here in the studio with me. I take them at least once a day. Now, patients ask me all the time, can I take it more than once a day? Absolutely. If I have a big day, if I have a stressful day, if I'm not feeling up to par, if I'm going hiking or something, I'll take a double dose. So the Super Greens, the Essential Source, the minimum amount of nutrients you should take every day, those are on the website, drjoe.com. I take Super Greens, Essential Source. I take B Complex, Adrenal Support, Vitamin D. Those are all on the website, drjoe.com. And listen, I got to go to a break. If you have any questions, give us a call, 844-44-DR-JOE, the website, drjoe.com. Thanks. Maud playing some of my favorite music.
Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Look at Ahmad playing 10,000 Maniacs for me. And that's where the line comes from. He's your kid, do as you seem fit. So he knew the song. It's called What's the Matter Here is the name of the song. I'm very impressed with Ahmad knowing that.
All right, now if you're on Facebook, go ahead and take a look at some of the polls that we're going to be running through this show and just help us out. So also from Facebook, how to loosen up mucus in a toddler. This is coming from Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette.
Also, what do you recommend as a treatment protocol for someone with keratoconus? Yeah, I didn't think that was about to be right.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the mucus in a child. You got to keep moisture in the air, especially now that we're into dry season. And if the heat's turned on, you got to keep moisturizers going. So you can take some eucalyptus oil, put it in your vaporizer, and let that be in the child. You can also do something with some massage technique where you cup your hands and you tap across their lungs. The lungs are right here, okay? They cover this whole area of the body. So tap the front, the sides, the back, and tapping like that with the hand cup can break up the mucus as well. Make sure they're hydrated. If they're not willing to drink water, I mean, you don't want to give them soda or coffee because that's a diuretic. It makes them pee. Sugary things, same thing. You don't want to give them that. Give them a bath. A nice warm bath and a hot bath if you can. You know, don't burn them, of course. But that'll help get the circulation going, and that'll help break up the mucus as well. And the key is not to form mucus. So no wheat, no sugar, no dairy products. Those are the mucus-forming foods. And it drives me insane when I see people with mucus eating sandwiches or eating ice cream or drinking milk. And I'm like, okay, it's your life. Do as you see fit, to paraphrase Natalie Merchant. And now Mary Ramsey, my new favorite singer for 10,000 Maniacs. Yeah, so you got to stop producing the mucus as well. But staying hydrated is going to be the key. And then build the immune system. The mucus is there fighting off viruses, germs, and bacteria. So what do? Vitamin D. I take 5,000 international units a day. I weigh about 180 pounds. So take that and divide it up based on the kid's size. Give them 2,000 international units a day. 2 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D. And that'll help the immune system as well. B-complex can help the immune system. The probiotics are so important to keep the immune system going. So yeah, you got to be proactive in this. And then there's Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster, which can help build the immune system. And then there's Dr. Joe's Seasonal Tonic, which is a little tough to get kids to take. It's ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, onion, and garlic, and it's pureed in apple cider vinegar. So it's really strong, but that stuff's amazing for breaking up mucus if you can get them to take it. Those are all on the website. Kara?
TACONUS.
What was it? Kera?
TACONUS.
Okay. Keratin. So it's a skin condition. I'm not sure. Okay, yes. Okay, so keratin means skin. Okay. Whenever I see skin issues, I always start thinking about the liver. And we talked about that earlier. So if you go to the website, drjoe.com, we did a whole section on that, on skin conditions. But nitric oxide, super greens, an essential source, minimum amount of nutrients for liver issues, a lot of water, staying away from the sugars and the processed food, the fried foods, anything with a label on it. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. And then coconut oil, extra virgin coconut oil right on the skin should help too.
Ms. Fakova, if I'm saying that right, said you look great today.
Well, thank you. Wonder what that is. Whoever, thank you. I appreciate that. See, guys like getting compliments too. Girls, here you go. Guys like getting compliments too, by the way. Doesn't hurt to compliment us.
True story?
True story. We have 2 guys here. We have a mod. We have 3 guys here. We got the guy team. We got Rachel answering the phone. So if you have a question, call it 844-44-Dr.Joe. You can always get on the air if you want.
All right, one more thing from Goldie on YouTube.
Goldie.
My grandson will be 4 next week and still isn't talking. All tests show he hears, he responds and interacts well, but no words. Recently, mama and dada. He has ptosis in his left eye. I think he has a pinched nerve or some type of nerve damage that's causing him not to be vocal.
It may be. Boys do start later than girls. Something you can do is keep him moving. I got to go here. Hold that thought. I'm going to show you.
That's now on the shoulder on 85 northbound
let me
exit
see
99
here.
Jimmy Carter
I
Boulevard.
think I come on right after this, but you want to do something called cross crawl with them. Get them marching like this, and that can help rebuild the brain.
Can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe
Bring him to come see us, by the way.
On WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there because we're talking today, a fun thing, gross things you find in a grocery store. It's a little play on words we have there. If you're not following us on Facebook and Instagram, please do that because we live stream a lot of our shows. We video and we take those videos and put them on my website. But follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Tell your friends to do it as well so that the more followers we have, the more power we have on these social media groups and the more we can get this word out. So we need lots of followers. So please do that. Also, send us your email address. Because we send out a newsletter about once a week, and it's a lot of good information on there. And a lot of that information you're not going to get it anywhere else. We'll have sometimes specials for the supplements, or we have maybe something, a grand opening at one of our offices or something along those lines. And you're only going to get that if you send us your email address. And the website you can send it to us on is drjoe.com. So this one I have to answer because I got a lot more to talk about what's gross in the grocery store. But Rhonda, ooh, there you are. How can we make your day better? Oh, yeah. Sure. Sure. Yes. Yes. Yeah, when it comes to cold and flu season, and I'm amazed we got this far into the show without anybody asking that question. We usually get it right away. The answer is a resounding yes, Ron. And last year, I mean, the flu season was so bad, people were dying. I know it's the worst ever, and you know, I'd leave the country. I mean, it was crazy. I didn't even have a sniffle. And the reason is you got to keep your immune system strong. Now, we all have flu viruses. I have it in my throat right now. Garrett, sitting next to me, has it in his throat. Ahmad has it. Everyone has it. So what do we do to keep the immune system strong? Several things. Number one, I take 5,000 international units of vitamin D every day. I take it from fall to spring. Now, in the summer, I'm outside a lot. I don't necessarily take it as much. But 5,000 units, if you go to my website, drjoe.com, we have a liquid vitamin D. It also has vitamin K2 in it, which most of us get no K2 in our diet. We need that for bone health. I take 5 drops of that every single day, and you should too. Okay? Good. Sure, and that's vitamin K, vitamin D2. That's vitamin D2. Vitamin D2 has to be converted into vitamin D3. So my thought process is, the reason it's prescription is it's synthetic and we can put a patent on it. And I'm a capitalist. I think everybody should make a living. But vitamin D3 is the form that your body needs. And you can only absorb so much of anything, whether it's water or vitamin D. So 50,000 IUs, I find my patients do a lot better, myself as well, taking 5,000 every day of vitamin D3 because it's already in the form that your body needs. So that's my opinion on that. Again, always consult your medical doctor who made your prescription. I never want to take you off your medications, but that's what I do. I take Dr. Joe's Optimal Probiotics because the probiotics, 80% of your immune system is in your colon. So you have to make sure you have good bacteria. I take, of course, Super Greens and Essential Source every day. That goes without saying. I take adrenal support because the adrenal glands help produce anti-inflammatories called prostaglandins, which help control inflammation. And so that's an active step. Proactive step is the D3, the probiotics, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, and the adrenal support. Now, on a not to do, a passive thing you want to do, you got to stay away from sugar. And when I say sugar, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, if you haven't read one of my books, the one book I wrote, it's called Prescription for Extreme Health, and that's on the website along with my other book. Sugar will blow out your immune system. And when do we eat the most sugar? During cold and flu season. Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and then cookies and parties and cakes and drinks, and then Christmas comes along, and then you're getting drunk on New Year's Eve and Christmas and New Year's Day, and you got to stay away from the sugars. Breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Because those are the sugars that you put them in your body, you're going to blow out your immune system. It just is what it is. And then sleep is very important too. You got to get enough rest. And so keeping the body hydrated, making sure you're drinking lots of water or tea throughout the week, throughout the day, and then the supplements and no sugar, and chances are very, very good. Oh, one more thing. I'm glad I just thought about this. New research out. Nutritional yeast. It's also called brewer's yeast. Nutritional yeast, they did studies on children. They gave them 1/4 teaspoon of nutritional yeast every day, reduced their risk of flu by about 30%. It's a powder. You can put it in capsules. Just put it on powder. I use it put it on salads, soups, anything savory. So the cost to do that, to help reduce flu in children, 4 cents a day. So nutritional yeast should be part of everybody's diet, especially in the winter months when it's cold and flu season. So you can do that, and nutritional yeast you can get at any grocery store, and I use it every day. And I love the flavor. If nothing else, I just love the flavor too. So there you go. All right, thanks for the call, Ron. Appreciate it. Could have done a whole 3 hours on that one, right? So yeah, nutritional yeast research is just so cool. That came out. I just read it a couple of weeks ago, and I did a report on it. In fact, I was a guest on my friend Belinda's show a couple of weeks ago, and we did a whole hour on nothing but keeping the immune system strong. And nutritional yeast is just so big, and nobody talks about it. Again, about 4 cents a day. How ridiculously easy is that? That's pretty cool stuff. So anyway, we're talking about, and it tastes great. Exactly. I mean, if nothing else, I use it because it tastes great. So, and that's all on my website, drjoe.com, for archived radio shows. But nutritional yeast, that we don't have a Dr. Joe's nutritional yeast, but any grocery store, any health food store would carry it. Health food store, I laugh. If there's a health food section, what's the rest of the store? Something to think about. So we're talking about gross things at the grocery store. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. And that number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air if you want to make appointments. Chiropractic care, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, nutrition issues. We want to help you get well and stay well. That's on the website. Moldy berries, gross factor. Pregnancy hormones in canned food, that's not enough, right? You want more? Well, here's more. FDA legally allows up to 60% of canned and frozen blackberries and raspberries to contain mold. Now, when mold gets in the system, it affects the immune system, and it can weaken the immune system. Canned fruits and vegetable juices are allowed to contain 15% mold. But that's a problem. So, organic, of course, is always better than non-organic. If you can go fresh, buy your blackberries, your blueberries. I have blackberry bushes and blueberry bushes and fig trees all around my house. And if you pick them fresh, and then you can just freeze them. And what's nice is you know they're organic if they're at your house, if you didn't spray them with anything. My big issue I have every year is I have the healthiest birds in the neighborhood. Because as soon as those blueberries and blackberries and figs start to bloom, man, figs and birds and squirrels, and man, they're loving this stuff. So you got to get out there and pick them every day is the secret. And that's, I know it's a little bit of work on your part. But just take them, spread them out on a thing, throw them in the freezer, and then you have them all year round. Try to do organic if you can. Organic is always the best choice when it comes to anything. But that can be pretty gross. Now, you should eat them. And I mean, frozen berries is still a heck of a lot better than eating meats or dairy products. But again, we're just trying to get gross factors in here. And we're going to have to go to a break really soon. We come back, I'm going to talk about a new hidden threat that was, well, not new, but it's out there, that can come from soda and how it might be linked to cancer. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe, my website, drjoe.com. Hundreds of hours of podcasts there, video and audio. You can download them if you want to on SoundCloud. It's on there on the website. We have articles there. My blog is there. If you want to order the supplements, all the supplements are on the website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, stop suffering, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, car accidents, stop suffering, come see us. Offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Just like a rocket doesn't always take off.
Boop.
All right, and we've got a ton of questions, so I'm sorry for the person that asked about leaky gut. We've got a couple of shows in the last couple of months, all pertaining to leaky gut.
Yes.
So I'm going to move on to vegan dairy.
Okay.
So we're talking about what's wrong with products in the supermarket. And what about vegan dairy products, specifically like sour creams and cream cheeses and even nut cheeses?
Much better choices. It's the kind I use. And, you know, just do what I do. It's very simple. I always make a joke about that. It's like, you know, I said, next time you have a meal, think about this. Would Dr. Joe eat this? If Dr. Joe will eat it, you can eat it. If I won't eat it, you shouldn't eat it. It's very simple. But the vegan cheeses are great. They taste great. They're fine. They don't have the animal products in it, the steroids, the hormones, chemicals, the pesticides, cholesterol. So I have no problem with any of those.
Have you found one yet that's not wrapped in plastic?
Well, that's the problem. They're all wrapped in plastic. Yeah. So that's one of the downsides of it, yeah. Mm-hmm. But some of them melt now. You can put them on, you know, make a cauliflower crust pizza with some egg substitutes. There's vegan egg substitutes out there. Make a cauliflower crust pizza with that. Put some of the sauce on there. So that's kind of nice.
All right, Miss Michelle, I had a full hysterectomy. I want to get off of HRT pellets. Do I do this gradually with my doctor, or can I just stop?
I don't recommend you stop. Okay, again, I never recommend you come off any medication without your doctor's approval, ever, ever. I'm not against drugs. I'm not against surgery. I'm against unnecessary use of drugs and surgery. So the hormone replacement pellets, if you came in our office, we would put you on a protocol of natural supplements to try to get your body working. Because the problem I have with hormone replacement therapy, and I'm not against it, but the problem I have with it is that if you're putting it from an outside source, your body stops producing it from an inside source. Now, you've had a total hysterectomy. That doesn't mean your body isn't producing hormones anymore. Your adrenal glands can produce testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, estradiol. So in a case like yours, I would certainly start nourishing the adrenal glands forever because you're missing one part. So, there you go. So Dr. Joe's adrenal support, I would take that every day. I do. And I still have all my parts. So, I'm on waiting to us. We can't figure out how to shut that one off. No one can figure it out. It's a mystery. So, so we would get you on a supplement protocol and then have your hormones measured. And then once they get normal, then you ask the doctor to come off your medications. But that's what I would do for you.
Does nutritional yeast harm a woman's yeast count?
No, different type of yeast. Doesn't that's the Candida albicans is in the colon. This is a different type of yeast. It won't have any effect on it.
And now you mentioned our adrenal support.
Yes.
So we have a question. Does Dr. Joe's adrenal product help reduce inflammation in the body? I missed what he said earlier, but I have osteoarthritis and was curious if this product would be
Absolutely, yeah. The prostaglandins is E2 and E3, and some prostaglandins produce inflammation, some prostaglandins reduce inflammation. And if you got the adrenals working properly, you can produce the prostaglandins to help reduce the inflammation. Osteoarthritis is always mechanical. What that means is a bone is out of place rubbing up against another bone. And then the body produces white blood cells to attack that inflammation. So let's assume I jam my finger. Ink on my hand there. So let's assume I jam my finger. An inflammatory reaction occurs. And these white blood cells start attacking there, but they attack the whole body. And so as long as that bone is out of place, constantly causing an inflammatory reaction, you're constantly producing this immune reaction. So with that, the answer is yes. The adrenals can help, but you also want to find out where the source of it is and fix that. And that's where chiropractic comes in. So come see us. We'll work on that.
All right. Evie asked about muscle loss from stress and how to regain those muscles, specifically lower body, the butt, the thighs, the calves.
Sure. The way you build muscle is put stress on them, mechanical stress. So whatever exercise you can do, do. I've got an old neck injury. I got hit by a car when I was 10. I played football, hockey, street fights. And when it flares up, it hurts. So there's a lot of exercises I can't do anymore because when this thing flares up, I'm out of commission. I get adjusted, but it takes about a day or two for the inflammation to go down. So walking works well. Swimming is okay with me. Find out whatever stress you can put. Now, simple things you can do. When you're brushing your teeth, just do gentle squats. If you have to hold on, hold on. And just do gentle squats like that, 10, 15, 20, however many you can do. And that's a good way to start building up the lower body, the legs, the butt, and suck your abs in as well while you're doing it. And that's a great way to start. You'll find maybe you can do 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. And within a couple of days, you're up to 12 and 15 and 20. So every time you brush your teeth twice a day, you have 2 minutes to do lower body exercises in addition to whatever else you can do. So. Yes.
Masticating juicers.
Mastication means chewing, by the way, or grinding up.
So what do you think about masticating juicers over regular juicers?
Excellent. Yeah, if you're going to do it, I'd recommend you grind up the whole food and eat the whole food. Mm-hmm. But with super greens, with Essential Source and super greens, we juice the water and take out the fiber, and then we blow dry it basically at a low temperature to get a powder. So is it better to eat the whole food? Absolutely. But the Essential Source and the super greens is the next best thing. But the masticating juicers are great.
And that answers the question of, are the greens in my organic garden better than the greens in the super greens?
I hate to say yes, but they are. But you got to eat off a lot.
Yes.
We're guessing probably somewhere around 5 or 6, maybe 10 servings of fruits and vegetables in one scoop of this. You have to eat a lot of that. And that's why this is so convenient, because you don't have to refrigerate them. You don't have to grow them, pick them, store them. This lasts a long time. So that's why I made it, make it cheap and easy and quick for you. But the organic vegetables in your fruit in your garden are absolutely, I would add that to that. Yeah, they're the best.
What's a good cleanse? What's your favorite cleanse? What's your most recommended cleanse?
Dr. Joe's cleanse. We have a cleanse at the office we do. It's a 21-day detox. I think we got to go back here.
I'm telling to action news meteorologist Brad.
Yeah. If you call the office, ask for Kayla or Tara, they can get you on the cleanse, the 21-day cleanse. That's a great start. But really, just getting on a good diet. If you go to my website and watch the video, The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, listen to the audio, So What Can I Eat? That's going to be your life cleanse. And then make sure you're fasting every 12 hours every day, intermittent fasting. So if you eat at 5 o'clock at night, don't eat again until 5 o'clock in the morning. 12 hours without food. And that's really a great practical cleanse. But do the 21-day cleanse we do at our office.
You have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. Hope you're having fun like I am as always and learning a lot, because that's the goal. Is I want to make sure we educate you and give you information on healthcare that really, really works. We want to naturally get you well and keep you well. And I'm not saying that you should stop other forms of healthcare. I work very, very closely, and we get referrals just about every day from medical doctors, hospitals, nurses, psychiatrists, psychologists, orthopedists, neurologists, and we refer out to them too, because no one doctor can do everything. But many times our office is like a clearinghouse. People come in and say, Dr. Joe, we've been to all these other doctors, and our neck pain, our back pain, our shoulder pain is there. And the doctor said, just go see Dr. Joe and his team, see what they can do. And many times we found the problem. And we'll call the other doctor and say, hey, listen, what we found was a pinched nerve at L5, or the atlas was twisted, or a shoulder was out of place. And then we co-manage the case with those doctors. So we want to work with your doctors, we want to work with you to help naturally get well and stay well. So we're talking about gross things you find in a grocery store. If you're on hold, Bill and everybody else, if you're on hold, please keep holding. I want to cover this one topic because I don't want to run out of time. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. There's a contaminant. It's found in two common soda brands, and I won't say the brand names because I'm sure you have them, and it's causing about 15,000 cases of cancer a year, and nobody's talking about it. That's why you listen to this. So pay attention to your soda label, and you'll find some questionable ingredients in there. You'll find, of course, high fructose corn syrup. We talked about that earlier, how bad that is. Artificial sweetener, which I can give a 2 or 3 hour dissertation on how bad that stuff is. And in an analysis from the Center for Science for the Public Interest, it's called CSPI, has detected a cancer-causing ingredient you've probably never heard of, and you're certainly not going to read it on the label. High levels of this carcinogen, it's called 4-MI, I won't give you the long name on it, it's a little complicated, are created when certain forms of ammonia are used to create the caramel food coloring used in a popular soda brand, the big popular soda brands, and mainly in cola, to make it brown. The reason cola is brown, is cola colored, is because of the caramel color. It does nothing to the soda. Now, some of the cool companies are coming out with clear cola. Well, all they're doing is taking out a product. They're taking out an ingredient called the caramel color. But when this caramel color is made and ammonia is used, it can cause this 4-MI to form. Now, the Centers for Science and Public Interest is lobbying for the Food and Drug Administration to change the label requirements, but for now, it's perfectly legal to have this 4-MI, and it's been projected to cause about 15,000 cancer cases a year, according to the Centers for Science and the Public Interest. Wow. So you've heard me talk about the artificial sweeteners and the sugars and the bisphenol A that can line the cans, but now the caramel color itself is potentially a carcinogenic or a cancer-causing agent. 4-MI is added purely as a cosmetic purpose and giving the soda its brown color. So to help shoppers better understand what's in the drinks, the Centers for the Science and Public Interest is asking the FDA to force manufacturers to disclose when they use these ammonia-based caramel colorings, listing ammonia sulfide processed caramel color or chemically modified caramel coloring to the label. Now, I am in favor of less government, not more. That's my political stand. You don't hear me talk much about politics. However, when there's ingredients in there that can be harmful, I think those should be listed. So if you're going to drink cola, you shouldn't. But if you do, you still shouldn't. But if you still do, see if you can get clear cola. And now the cool thing is that years ago, when I first got onto this little bandwagon of health, I've said this many times, it was basically salad and beans. But now there's so many other products out there, and there are colas sweetened with stevia. Also, there's orange and grapefruit and whatever else. Soda sweetened with stevia. So if you're going to drink soda, I would strongly advise you do a stevia sweetened soda. And by the way, they taste fine. And if you want the caffeine, you can get the cola in there, and they have the clear. A lot of them are clear because they don't add the ammonia sulfite that can be causing the cancer to it as well. And it has 0 calories, and stevia has about 70 different nutrients in it. So when I sweeten anything, I use stevia. So that would be a much better choice. Let's take some more callers at 844-44-Dr. Joe. If you have a question, give us a call. Bill, great question. How can we make your day better? Thanks, Bill. Sure. Uh-huh. Sure. Sure. Mm-hmm. I think colloidal silver is excellent, and it doesn't necessarily build your immune system. It acts like an antibiotic. So if you have the infection, it can wipe it out. So it can help your immune system, of course. The other things we talk about, like the vitamin D and the Dr. Joe's B complex, the super greens, the essential source, that can help build your immune system. Dr. Joe's wellness tonics. But the colloidal silver helps fight viruses, germs, and bacteria, which is kind of cool. Now, just be careful with it, because if you take too much of it, you can turn blue. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, if you follow the recommendations, and you can have anywhere from 10 parts per million to 500 parts per million. But just be careful, follow the recommendations, don't overdo it. But it works very, very well. Yes, but if you turn blue, I mean, I've seen people, they look like Smurfs, and you can die. Yeah, you can actually cause too much problem with it. Yeah, so the colloidal silver is fine. I'm perfectly good with that. Yes. Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. I think it is. Yeah, I imagine it is. The caramel color, if, like I said, if they use an ammonia in there, it can cause the 4-MI, and which is a carcinogenic. So anything that says caramel color, I would strongly advise you stay away from, especially with someone like your wife who has an autoimmune condition. You don't want to make it worse. Yeah. So, yes. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, any dyes, the lake number 4 and blue dye number 2s, whatever, just stay away from any dyes. All they're there is for aesthetics. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's blue. I must like it then. Yeah, but stay away from that. And if you get a chance, bring her in. We'd like to work with her, because chiropractic care, through getting adjusted, can help the immune system as well. And we've seen a lot of studies on that. Yeah. Yay. Look forward to meeting you and your wife real soon then, Bill. All right, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. So, folks, I'm Dr. Joe. I'm going to go to a break pretty soon. My website is drjoe.com. You can order the supplements there we talked about today. All the supplements are there. A lot of them we didn't even talk about today. The intestinal cleanser, the wellness boosters. Those are all on the website, drjoe.com. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, knee pain, ankle, shooting pain, numbness, tingling, come see us, folks. People wait, and then when they come in, they're always like, why did I wait so long? I wish I hadn't waited so long. So not just for you, your friends, your family, and your children. Because if children have straight spines, they grow straight. If they're crooked, they're more likely to grow crooked. So we see many, many children, infants as patients. We want to get your body well. We want to get the nervous system working, digestive system working, and good nutrition. So stop suffering needlessly. And come see us. The website is drjoe.com. If we're not on the air, you can call us at 844-44-DR-JOE. And we have in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Hey, don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back.
If you're like most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering, and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you experiencing hot flashes or fatigue?
All right.
This is our last break.
Last segment, yeah.
So we got some big questions we're going to try to power through.
All right, go ahead.
This woman's husband's boat exploded.
Wow.
His center console hit him in the shin, tore his shin open, and then he had to swim back to shore in a lake.
Wow.
Got a horrible bacterial infection.
Oh, yeah.
Antibiotics for 10 days. Went back 10 more days of 2 different antibiotics. He's getting better, but very, very slowly. What can speed up the process, and how can you do it naturally?
Optimal probiotics. You got to get him on that, and I would probably do double dose of what we say on the bottle. You got to get those probiotics built up in there. Coconut oil, if you can put it on the external part of where the wound is, if the wound is still an issue, coconut oil is antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal, so you can rub extra virgin coconut oil on the outside. building up the immune system from the inside. Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster, it's a liquid. Dr. Joe's Probiotics, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, and the Adrenal Support. And you got to get them off all the sugars because the sugar blows out the immune system. And again, that's breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pasta, soda. Got to do it.
All right, and now somebody wanted you to mention and talk a little bit about parasites in foods. You want to do that on or off the air?
Want to on or off the air? Oh, we could talk about it now if we want to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we got a lot more to talk about. We only got 8 minutes in this segment now, so. Yeah, so parasites in food are a big thing, and that's why with pork, I mean, now it's trichinosis isn't really a big issue anymore. They kind of took that off the warning sign for pork. You're supposed to cook it through. Always cook any animal product through. Or don't eat it, of course, is my best bet. If you have parasites, we can put you on a parasite cleanse. We have those at the office. But pumpkin seeds might help as well. So eating pumpkin seeds is a good idea to make it part of your daily routine because it's loaded with zinc and selenium and it helps the immune system. But you want to, you can help kill off parasites too. If the parasites have set up shop, you're probably gonna need a little bit more than just pumpkin seeds.
All right, what's the deal with lipomas?
Lipomas. Oh, it's gonna ring the bell. You almost had it right. So you don't get a bell for that.
Can you get rid of them naturally?
You can try castor oil packs. If you don't know how to do that, look it up. It's real simple. It's castor oil with some gauze, and you can put it, heat it, warm it up, and put it right over the lipoma. That might help. In most cases, the lipomas are benign. If they get big enough and start putting pressure on the nerves, it's a very simple surgery. Go in there and pop it right out. They're not carcinogenic in most cases. They're usually just unsightly. But the castor oil packs is what I'd recommend. You want to look that one up on how to do it.
What's your take on TVP and soy? Soy curls for meat replacement.
Oh my God, everybody's talking about soy curls lately. It's the word. See,
what is a soy curl?
It's like TVP, textured soy protein. Textured vegetable protein, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan. They're really hard to digest. When they process them, they usually use, if it's not organic, it's probably GMO soy, which I'm not a big fan of. And the problems with the gas, the bloating that occurs with them, and it can free up something called glutamic acid, which is an amino acid that when it's freed up is an excitotoxin to the brain. You might know it as monosodium glutamate. So I'm not a big fan of textured soy protein or the soy curls or any of that. So there's so many other foods you can eat. You don't have to worry about that. And that's the whole thing. There's 120,000 good foods you can eat. If you don't know what to eat, get my book, Eating Right for the Health of It. It's a great guide on what to eat. And the second half of the book is well over 200 recipes. And if you give us your email address on the website, we send out a recipe every week. That's Garrett's job. So,
yeah, and I believe last week we had an awesome carrot cake recipe.
Yeah, that wasn't from my book, though, was it?
It was not.
That's okay.
I found that one. I really wanted.
Yeah.
We just went to a wedding, and we were all supposed to bring cakes for the bridal shower or the bridal party.
Right.
And I really wanted a carrot cake.
Oh yeah. So,
they all make fun of us for
absolutely
for being vegan and saying that we eat like rabbits. So I said, screw these guys.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna bring you a carrot cake.
And it was delicious.
It was awesome.
It was great. Yeah. It was a lot of sugar though. So yeah, but again, so just the recipes in here are all vegan. They're all plant based. They're all no soy, no wheat. So it's a great guide. So if you don't have that, get it. You can get a downloadable copy as well. Okay, coming back soon.
All right, so quickly, knee bone rubbing and feeling awful. How to take care of your knees.
Got to get chiropractic care. The knees are cruddy joints. When I die, I'm going to yell at God for the knee. I don't like the way it's designed. Oh, here we go.
Listen to Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you spent a little time with us. You're going to be amazed because this is the last segment of the show. Doesn't that fly? Gosh, I'm always amazed when I feel like when I get in my car at the end of the show, I'm like, my car isn't even cold yet. I don't think it's still sputtering. I'm getting back in it. But if you missed the show and you don't want to miss the show, go to my website, drjoe.com, and we have the shows there. It's our podcast. And we also do little segments between the breaks from the radio where we answer other questions as well. So you can see all of those on the website, drjoe.com. If you have Google Play or Stitcher, it's also, and it's called For the Health of It is our podcast. And that's a different show than this one, by the way. So if you like this, you can follow us there too and get our downloads for those podcasts as well. Any questions you have that we didn't get to you can go send them to me through my website, drjoe.com. I'm more than happy to answer your questions for you. We can't cover everything. We get so many questions on air, off air, so we try to cover as much as we can, and that's why we have those podcasts there for you, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, and you need to, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, digestive issues, nutritional issues, we would love to work with you. Stop suffering. You'll probably save a ton of money. You'll feel better, most likely, probably live longer. And you're going to be like everybody else and say, why didn't I do this sooner? So stop suffering. Every day, patients come in our offices, and in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Patients come in and say, I've been meaning to make an appointment for blank. And they fill in the line. And that line can go all the way back to 30 years. I've been in practice 34 years, so yeah, about up to 34 years. And I'm finally here. Stop that. Just get off your little fanny. Go to the website, drjoe.com, make an appointment right online. If you want to get a little less tech savvy, you can call us at 844-44-Dr.Joe, and let's get you in. We accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, Medicare. I think we're the last doctors in the world to take Medicare. But even if there's in-network coverage, out-of-network coverage, let us help explain you and walk you through the insurance maze, because it's very confusing. And I've had patients say already, not just with us, but other people, well, my insurance wouldn't cover the procedure, so I didn't get it. If you need the procedure, folks, get it. This is your life. This isn't dress rehearsal. Get well fast. And chances are you'll feel better and make enough money to pay 10 times over whatever you paid any doctor because you need it. So we got a few more minutes here. We're talking about gross things in a grocery store. Something worse than high fructose corn syrup. Now, you've heard me talk about high fructose corn syrup earlier in the show, and how it breaks down into fructose has to be converted to glucose, and it produces uric acid as a waste product, and uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts, and uric acid prevents the body from properly producing nitric oxide, which is why Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support is one of, well, they're all popular, but one of our very popular supplements, because it increases circulation to your brain, to your reproductive organs. We smile when we say that because it's a family show, but gentlemen, yeah, start your engines. But all those products are on the website, drjoe.com. But there's something called aspartame. Now, aspartame is not good, because aspartame is made of 3 components: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters. Now, aspartic acid is an excitotoxin to the brain. It causes the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to and can literally burn out your brain cells. Not a good thing. Phenylalanine, if you can't process phenylalanine through your kidneys, you have something called phenylketonuria, and that's why if you ever read anything with aspartame, it says not recommended for people with phenylketonuria, because it can kill you potentially. And then it breaks down to methyl esters. Methyl esters are methanol. Is methanol? Methanol is wood alcohol. Now, if I was going to drink wood alcohol, if I was going to hand you a glass of wood alcohol, I could be like arrested for attempted murder. Because wood alcohol is very dangerous to the nervous system, and it specifically affects the optic nerve. And many people have reported if they drink diet sodas while flying, somehow the barometric pressure changes can actually cause something called tunnel vision, where they can only see a small part out of the middle of their eye. They lose some peripheral vision. And then they land on the ground again, it goes away, and they go, it was no big deal. They go to the doctor can't find anything. So if you have eye issues and you're drinking a lot of aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters, we call it aspartame, make sure you tell your eye doctor, because that can be affecting the optic nerve. And in many cases, when you come off it, we go through what's called an aspartame detox. In about 6 months, a lot of people do well. And so it's really important that you do that. And it can affect the neurological system as well. So some people will come in and say they've been diagnosed with some neurological issue. And the first question I ask is, do you do artificial sweeteners? And if the answer is yes, you need to cut out the artificial sweeteners because it affects the nervous system, the aspartic acid. And then we see 6 months from now, we may have to do a reevaluation and find out what's going on. But it's not good stuff. So stay away from the artificial sweetener. Number 1 side effect of artificial sweetener is headaches. So as chiropractors, a lot of patients come to us with headaches. Neck pain, back pain, headaches, very, very common. We see it every day. And I always say we need to do a dietary workup on you. Why? Because if you're doing something that's causing the headaches, it may not be a chiropractic case that you have, or maybe in addition to a chiropractic case, you may have a chemical issue. I can't do caffeine. If I do caffeine, I get a headache. It's not a secret. Chocolate, coffee, that gives me problems. I just can't do it. But if you're doing diet sodas, and aspartame, by the way, is about 8,000 products last I read. So that's a big important thing, that you may be causing a lot of your problems. Wouldn't it stink if you suffer from headaches or blurred vision or fatigue or brain fog and you did it to yourself? And I've had a lot of patients over the years get angry Why didn't somebody tell me this sooner? I don't know that answer, but I do know you know now. So it's not what you want. It's not something good. And aspartame is believed to be carcinogenic and accounts for more reports of adverse reactions than all other food and food additives combined. So take all the food additives, the dyes and the chemicals and the caramel color we just talked about, all of them grouped together. FDA gets more complaints about aspartame than any other of the products. Now there's something called acesulfame K or acesulfame K or acesulfame potassium, and it's been linked to kidney problems and sucralose, which is, again, we're talking about gross things in the grocery store. Sucralose is a chlorinated hydrocarbon. What that means is we take sugar, we go through a 5-step chemical process, and we create something called sucralose, which in theory is supposed to taste sweet but not be absorbed in your body. Well, the problem with that is that it does get absorbed. And when sucralose gets into your body, it acts as a chemical disruptor, hormone disruptor, an endocrine disruptor, we call it. And it can act like estrogen. And estrogen is a growth hormone. And if you're not growing up, you can grow out. And so this is why study after study after study has shown, one of the reasons, that people that use artificial sweeteners many times gain weight and don't lose weight. Folks, you just tuned in, you missed an amazing show. It's going to be on my website tomorrow, drjoe.com. If you're a podcast follower, we also have a podcast called For the Health of It. It's a different show than this, if you have a podcast service. If you want to get the supplements, the super greens, the essential source, the vitamin D, the adrenal support, the probiotics, the nitric oxide, all the supplements are on the website, drjoe.com. Stop suffering with pain and agony and come see us. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Go to my website, drjoe.com. And if you order and use the password GROSS, you get free shipping this week. Hey, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
I recently learned that the average person spends 20...
Folks, by the way, thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate that. Hey, follow us if you're on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, vice versa. Tell your friends to follow us. Please share this link. It's on the website. And we want to get you well and keep you well. If you want to make an appointment, just go to drjoe.com. All the supplements are on the website, too. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.